Grownish, smartish, British.
We are British, apparently. Uh-huh.
Should be good. Really, really good.
Yeah, but they need me to do a test. So the COVID test.
The rapid flow one or the PCR?
PCR, but then does that mean I can just grab anyone and go like, yo, like what does that mean? How does that mean that I don't have COVID? How does it work?
They just brought out the passports.
It doesn't work. I got the pass
What do you mean the pass?
from the NHS app.
Yeah,
They scan it, it's like a barcode.
yeah. But how you supposed to have the vaccines?
No,
What?
no.
What do you mean? Then what was the point of having? Alright, do you know what? This was
What's the point of having what?
our favourite topic, COVID.
Yeah, we're gonna stay away. Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Hi guys. No, you are listening and watching Grown Up British with myself, Hebs.
I am legend.
Oh my god.
Wait, I don't know.
By
what's
the way,
happening.
did you capture his face? Because that face is memeable.
Oh god. No,
I
it's
feel
gone.
like it needs to be a
It's
meme.
gone. It's gone. It's gone.
Would you like to introduce yourself, like the?
I am
correct way?
Ben of LDN.
Thank you very much.
Hey guys, I'm Fizz of Keep It Fizz. Of Keep It Fizz.
And we are joined with a very special guest, and we are grateful for you to come. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name is Nicole.
Do you want to give out your Instagram or not really?
It's quite long. No, it's okay.
All right. So what we'll
We
do
can-
is
we can-
we'll add it somewhere here. Ty, no pressure. Just next to her beautiful face, somewhere there. Thank you very much. So before we go into topic, how was everyone's week?
Been a good week.
So you're officially at work. New job.
Yeah, officially started my new job today. I don't know what I was going to say then.
Let's just start again. Go on.
I officially started my new job this week.
Excellent.
My brains is puddles now though.
That's good though. So you're being
Yeah, yeah.
challenged.
Well, it's just the training stuff. You know, like with every new starter, you have to do all of this e-learning and
organised?
stuff. Hella organised. Love it.
That's good.
Love it.
You geek.
Yeah.
Nicole, how's your week?
Oh, it's been hard. The weather's not been helping at all. So just gotta try and find the sunshine where there's no sunshine.
Yeah, it's one of those Instagram, not the YouTube videos you can open like of a burning fire. You can just have one of the beach. have it on full blast and just- and just pretend. you're
Pretend.
there.
That's all you can do.
Have you seen them sunset lamps?
What?
Yeah, where like you wake up and it
No, that's
sunrise.
a sun lamp. But
Oh.
there's like a sunset lamp, so it's like golden hour
Oh,
all the
no.
time.
Okay.
You guys not
But
seen
does
it?
that not make you feel some kind of way? Like you're always chilling? Like, you're
Yeah,
just always
I
relaxed.
just wanna
Is that
be
not what
chill.
life is about?
No, man, we got stuff
Nah.
to do.
This is
No.
London.
Yeah.
But you know, at least we can fake that golden hour glow, innit?
I don't know.
So my week's been, well, Ben, anything exciting of yours? Sorry, just, in case there is something popping in life.
No, just celebrated another year on this earth.
Oh yeah, it was your birthday!
I didn't do anything. Just celebrated another year, but nothing else happened.
Go, Shawty. So did you twerk for Joe?
Who?
Do you remember you said you'd rather twerk? Like you'd rather get paid for sex?
Hey?
Do you remember? And you said you'll let her
Listen,
dollars.
Listen, that didn't happen at all.
Please, no. We
No,
have it
what?
on video evidence.
God in heaven. Never.
What, that you
You said I wouldn't mind twerking
yeah.
for my wife.
No. First of all, no.
Okay, that's fine. We'll find a clip. We'll put it up. Remind everyone. So other than Fizz dropping something,
Just broke the whole thing.
yeah. So how's your birthday for real?
It was alright. We just, family thing. Went for a meal, spent time with the family, and that was it.
Is this the watch that you got for your birthday?
Might have been.
Can you show the camera?
It's there, isn't it?
It's
Check my-
there.
check my
It's
Insta.
there.
Check the Insta.
There.
Follow the Insta, innit? It's there. Just a nice little thing,
It's a nice plug.
I mean,
Yeah.
you might get a
Yeah.
sponsor now.
Ah.
Right, everyone, they need to, well. It's a
Look
nice
at
little
look at humble Ben.
I know.
It's a nice little thing, innit? Nothing.
humble Uncle Ben.
Just it was up and down week. Had a couple of things happen, so
That's
they'll
cool.
be coming out soon. So yeah, it was good. It was a good week.
Wicked. My week's been long. Just work. But I just want to have a quick rant.
Mhm.
Yes, please. do.
All right, Rihanna. Do you drive?
No.
Okay. Are you in Ubers often or sitting in a passenger side of your best friend's
Central
drive?
London, she doesn't need to.
No.
No.
All right. So I don't understand why people don't understand what it means. Do you know when lanes merge, right?
Oh yes.
What is it? What is the rule when lanes start merging?
He who dares wins.
Nah.
I mean, that's what people are playing out there on the
what?
road.
No. It's one in, one out, one in. Like this. It's like a nice
Who
flow.
taught you that?
It's an unwritten rule.
No, surely.
Who
No,
taught you
it's
that?
an unwritten rule.
Who taught you that? I've
It's-
never
it's-
heard
So
of
wait,
that.
when the roads are merging, you're meant to be like, all right, cool. Everyone just slots in. Like one person
No,
goes
no,
this
no.
way, and then we just all form a nice line. Why is it beef?
Yeah, you
Why
got
am I
bully your way
fighting
in.
someone?
Yeah.
Nah.
There's no code of conduct for that.
No.
No,
It is literally like
is.
whoever gets in, whoever
Yeah.
gets their front in first is making.
See, the
their
thing
way
is,
in.
I can do this. I'm Heber Hamilton. I don't play about. I don't care.
Hamilton.
So I don't play.
Hamilton.
Listen, I didn't give myself that title.
Look at this.
I'm not
Look
self-proclaimed.
at This
This has
one.
been given to me by me.
Heber Hamilton.
All right, Uncle Ben.
Only the best driver of this generation. I see you. Keep going,
Small,
boss.
small.
Keep going, boss.
But I can do this. So I'm just trying to do like the orderly manner of like, here you go. Then you have one uncle that just wants to do, and I'm like, bro, we're not beefing right now. If we're gonna do
No.
this, I'm gonna do this, but I don't want to.
Honestly,
like, there's a system.
it's each man for the
Nah,
first
I
rule
don't
of
believe
driving
that.
is you kind of have to watch out for other people doing, but you gotta go.
Tell me.
You gotta go.
Tell
That's
them.
my
it.
boyfriend.
That's
To be
it.
fair, like if there's one lane and there's like loads of cars, and then there's another lane that's empty.
Yeah,
he'll
I'll
go on
do
the
that.
empty lane and then
Go.
Yeah.
But
into
that's
the-
fine. That's fine. I'll do that because
No,
technically,
that's jarring.
but technically speaking, he's doing the right thing, which is he's now joining that lane. You gotta give me way because it's now merging. So you kind of go ship. So I will do that when it's a two-way thing and no one's using it. Everyone's queuing like idiots on a road and there's an empty lane. I'm gonna use that lane. So shout out to your boyfriend for doing that. But whether he's also like having road rage is another problem. I don't road rage. I just narrate the situation. I'm like, yeah, slow down. Okay, mother trucker, we'll do this. All right. So yeah, I'm really upset, and I actually thought it was a rule.
There's no rule.
Guys,
rule?
is it not a rule?
For you, there's a rule. For no one,
I just
everyone else.
It's
I saw a
common
flow.
courtesy, yeah, but you might have common courtesy. The next person in the car along probably won't, or the car behind you probably
All
won't.
rules are out
Well,
the
my
window.
drive home tonight is gonna be different.
Yeah.
I'm
no
playing
courtesy
about.
in here today.
Listen,
You should be
I've learned
driving-
something new.
Driving defensively.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it
But
really a
when you-
battleground?
But then before cyclists, they have to drive. They have to cycle offensively. So you have to be very.
Sorry, have
aggressive.
you guys been seeing that guy on Instagram who randomly stops drivers on his bike and he'll have like a camera on his helmet? And
No.
if you're breaking the rules, he'll stop in front of you. Yeah, he'll be like, he's like, you can't do that, you can't do that, and she's like, can I reverse? No, you can't. Go on. How are you gonna move now? He's a proper bully.
Why
In
though?
central London, he's on it. Like if
Is he
one girl,
undercover fed?
nah, he's just
bant.
power crazed.
I
Nah,
wish-
he's actually vexed.
I wish he would.
Like he's
bro.
telling people about themselves. You know, like just that he's an excitable cyclist who's got the freedom and flex.
Excitable cyclist.
He
That's
is.
Why?
I don't know, but like
wish
some
he
women,
would,
for
boy.
example, overtook because obviously, do you know when everyone's going left and you just need to go straight ahead, or with the petrol station or the massive queues that are happening, I'll overtake safely.
On the wrong side of the road, right? See, there you go. See, I know it. Keep going.
Anyway, but it's a clear road ahead. I can see what's happening. And I'm about to turn a bench. I just need like 3 cars to overtake and I'm good. My girl was doing that. He stopped her and she's like, can you let me through? He's blocking her. So by that point,
Oh, I've
But
seen that
then
one.
he's making it more dangerous.
precisely, because he's now allowing other cars to merge forward.
What
So
an
go ahead.
incompetent-
And she's like, can I reverse? He's like, no, you can't reverse. You can't reverse. So what can she do?
But
Here's
wait,
the
why
thing.
couldn't she reverse? If he's in front of her, why can't she just back out?
I can't remember. Or he was forcing her to, like one of them, but it was just like, who are you? You're not even, no one's paying you.
In that situation, this is when you do the jerky jerk.
No,
Right,
he
right.
won't. He won't do it. He'll
What,
stay
he won't
there.
move?
Nah, he won't move for no one. He bullies everyone.
He's just going to end up
I will
getting himself
cry.
arrested because what he's doing is also
Arrested?
illegal. No,
He'll
but
get- he'll
he's
get
very
himself knocked
unsafe.
down.
Well, that's
He'll
the
get
least
beaten
of his
by
Trust
someone.
me.
The wrong
Yeah.
person will actually beat him.
People don't play that game, and you drop. Like, imagine a mum or a dad has to go to dropping my son to school. You're making me late. No, we're in.
That's what happened. Sorry, I was
We're in
going
beef.
over Wandsworth Bridge. We're digressing so much, but I was going over Wandsworth Bridge, and there's all these protesters who sat on the road,
No, we're in beef.
and I was literally on the other side of it. So there was no one on my side, but the bridge going over, everyone was sitting there, and people getting out of cars and dragging them off
Trust me.
because they're like, "I've got work to do." There was an ambulance. An ambulance is like, "Can you move?" And there's like, "This is more important. This is more long term.
course
This is
it
Oh,
more
are
long
these the
term."
climate change people?
Bro, the ambulance trying to get through, and they're sitting on the floor, and you can see them dragging the younger ones. But when it came to the old guy, everyone's like,
No, hey, come.
Drag everyone equally. There's no discrimination.
Pick up his
needed
legs.
here.
Let's go. Move.
I don't know, man.
That's not the way to do it,
Wow.
man.
Okay, so I'm gonna drive home very defensively
Yeah.
That's what
today.
you need to do.
Anything
You
happens,
just
you're
need to
blaming
watch out for
Ben.
yourself.
Who?
Hebs.
Me?
And the cyclists.
And the cyclist. But
Them
yeah,
ones
watch out
too.
for yourself.
All right, so what we do every single episode, we do a would you rather.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
I'm not gonna ask you the inappropriate one because given the topic,
No. Oh, okay.
I feel like it's a bit. Ugh. I'll ask you later. It's fine. They're usually quite deep and sometimes absolutely stupid. Which ones we're gonna choose today, I can't really tell you because I'm gonna freestyle these ones.
Mhm.
Would you rather? Okay, would you rather a nose that never stops growing or an ear that never stops growing? I'm running out of them, guys.
Neither does your nose.
What?
No. I'm talking like a continuous, like Pinocchio
Continuous
vibe.
growth.
What don't
And
you
like-
understand about not stop growing?
No, but it doesn't grow to the point. Yeah, exactly. Would you rather have these ears or this nose?
Oh,
I'd
it's
rather
nice.
have these ears.
What would you rather
Yeah,
have?
ears.
I love it. You're probably doing both.
Room, room for more piercings.
Imagine how, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, imagine how many.
So
earrings
you
can
guys are
have.
wow. I was thinking I can cover them and hide them with my hair. You're thinking how I can accessorize them.
Yeah, the
Well,
beauty in it,
If
isn't it?
it's there, I might as well decorate it.
Well, certain cultures like big ears.
Yeah.
I remember one guy was like, "Hebs, you got big ears," and I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "I really like them." I'm like, "You weird, you,
You are. No, that is
People have ear fetishes.
bro."
bizarre.
There's some random. We're not gonna do it in the next
Okay.
episode. Innit?
Yeah,
What would you do?
Attract
Big nose or big
some
ears?
Interesting characters. Probably big ears.
Big ears.
Yeah.
This is a unanimous decision. Well,
Who
that
wants a
was
big
easy.
nose?
Big ears for the and especially if it,
It
keeps
might
growing,
symbolize something,
but then you won't be able to see.
but it can also collect things for you.
Hey?
I don't know. I just envisioned it like you hooking things on it. It can
my
carry an
God.
extra, like a little bag. Like a,
when you do the washing,
trunk
just hang it
bag.
up.
Like an elephant trunk.
Yeah.
Hey?
Oh my
Alright,
god.
Wait. Okay.
Anyways,
That was so unexpected.
would you rather your parents dislike your partner or your partner disliking your parents?
Oh.
I feel like Nicole's talking through experience in life. Like, this hits home.
No, I'm just thinking. Oh my god. What would I rather?
What a horrible situation to be in.
Yeah.
Either way. So either your parents dislike your partner or your partner dislikes your parents.
So I personally,
I'd rather my partner dislike my parents respectfully.
respectfully, I like where you
Yeah.
added that variable in. I get it. I get what you mean because you kind of want your parents' blessing and you want your
Yeah.
parents to support you
Exactly.
as opposed to be like, oh, he can't come around the house. You can't do that. You don't want a hostile environment.
Well, then you end up losing your support circle as well.
Yeah.
If you end up becoming isolated from your parents because they don't like your partner. So I would rather have it the same way.
But would you
I'm a-
actually want to hear your man go, I can't stand your mum?
Well,
She's
that's why it's
absolutely jarring."
respectfully.
But then it might not. What would you do then if he was just like, nah, I'm not going to lie, your mum's jarring still,
I
you
mean,
know?
if he was saying that, to me, I'd be upset.
You should-
But
you- that
it would
wouldn't-
also depend on
that
how
wouldn't
he's
happen.
behaving towards my parents. So it's one thing saying you don't like them to me, but then it's another behaving
you-
in a way
yeah.
that makes it
I
obvious
don't
to
think that
them.
relationship would last very
No,
long.
it wouldn't.
I agree.
Yeah.
Are we just like Me Too's today? Everyone's in solid agreement.
should- no,
Some
you should
unity in the
never-
house. Okay.
That's
This
a-
is my last one.
That was a good one. though.
Actually, ooh.
Well done. That was a good one.
Really?
That was a good one. That was hard.
Excellent.
That was very difficult.
Oh, I don't know if he'd be sarcastic or not. We'll take it. Would you rather
Okay.
would you rather date someone who is vain or someone with low self-esteem?
Vain.
Explain. Actually, wait. Quick answers, and then you can explain after.
I don't know.
5. 4.
Vain.
Vain. Some people want low self-esteem because they want to keep fixing people, or they want to make sure that they're lower.
No.
Like, it's just like, I like the fact that you absolutely have no confidence. You're going nowhere.
No.
Listen, there's a lot of narcissists out there who are in that. They get excited. That turns them on.
and they
love
can
it.
spot
Low
self-esteem, people with low self-esteem from a mile away and just hone in.
What do you think that brother's doing in the club?
It's like, oh, she looks like she doesn't want to dance, and she's like hiding her body.
Trust
Let me
me.
target her.
Or they wait to the end of the night until everyone's just falling over and they picking off
And
prey.
they come swoop with their nose.
With their nose. I'm gonna
want you.
scoop her up.
Trust me.
He first pokes her and then scoops her.
Oh, calm down.
Oh my God.
Yeah, go on, vain or
Go
self-esteem.
on, Fizz.
I think self-esteem, but for different reasons.
Really?
Okay.
Vain.
I'll say
Wait,
vain.
wait.
Seeing you're the only one that says self-esteem, go ahead. Let's hear your reasons why you would target a low self-esteem human being.
I wouldn't. First off, I'm not targeting a low self-esteem being, but I feel like with someone who has low self-esteem, you can help to build them up. You can help build their confidence up. So it's not that I want a project, and
Some people
say,
like to fix.
I don't want to fix someone, but if what they need is encouragement and support to do more for themselves, I'll definitely be their cheerleader in that way. And in reverse, like when someone is vain and you pop their bubble,
You're not allowed to have both.
it's
ways.
no, but that's why I'm saying the other way. Like a reason why I wouldn't pick someone
okay,
vain
go on,
is
yeah.
because once you pop their once you burst their bubble, once that ego is deflated, there's nothing else there.
Oh, tear it down. Take it down a couple pegs.
So,
Yeah, but as in some people cannot take that at all.
all right,
see.
Nicole, why would you choose someone who's vain?
Just because I feel like maybe they're going to be always positive, and that's what I need. Positivity. I feel like someone with low self-esteem are always down, and I'm so sad, and nothing.
Bring out the
fits,
violins.
and,
Not that we have issues with anyone's got. I got low self-esteem at times, so we're human.
Yeah, obviously. But in the
I hear what
perfect
you mean.
world-
It's more draining.
yeah,
And
exactly.
when Fizz was explaining it, I was like, this sounds very draining.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not.
Because you're
I'm
constantly coaching
Yeah,
exactly.
someone.
And I don't have time to be
But-
fixing other people.
Oi!
true.
Wait.
But once someone's confidence is
Ruthless.
building and building and building, you can do less and less of that.
But what about yourself? You need to build yourself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Spending
then
so much time and energy building.
you're filling someone
else
else's
Keep
cup.
going.
that
Preach.
you forget about yourself.
That is true.
Preach.
That's
You're
my saying,
filling and
innit?
you're draining. You're filling and filling and you're
Filling
drying.
and I'm empty, and I need someone
It's
to
really
fill my
hard.
cup.
No, the mental health aspect of low self-esteem.
Mm.
I am not good with mental health at all. So I'm just like, and this is a bad way to put it. I'm just like, all right, just get up. Come on, we need there's stuff to do.
I get what you
just
mean.
don't-
You just want to
Yeah.
get on with
Yeah,
it.
I just don't
Yeah.
have. We don't have time.
Let's not
There's
dwell
There's
and
too
move.
much stuff to do. Let's just get up and do it. So
Yeah.
But can I just point out the choice of word? Like you said, vain. So this
It
is
is
someone
vain.
who's very self-centered, very selfish, only thinks about themselves.
I can deal with that.
So I'm
Oh,
gonna.
I think it depends on
Do
how
you
you
still
see
wanna-
it.
However, no. So I
Yeah.
think, similar to what Nicole said, I was speaking to my boy Chris and I asked him the same question because I was typing away and he was with me and I said to him, which one you choose? He went, well, a vain person is very confident, very positive, and all you need to do is work on them being less vain, but it won't take away from their positivity. So you can, so the same way you can coach someone out of low self-esteem, you can also coach someone to see more
being
beyond
humble.
just thinking of themselves. So I think.
yeah, humility can be taught.
Yeah, so I think the humbling part it would be probably like a more beneficial because you're not having to make someone believe in themselves. You're making someone believe a little bit less in themselves and more
True,
into
but
others.
it comes down. Well, yeah, that is true, but it depends on how receptive they are. And this is both ways. It's not just people who
Yeah.
are vain. This is also for someone who has low self-esteem. If they're not receptive to whatever you're trying to encourage out of them,
No,
I hear you.
I
I
agree.
hear
I
you.
agree. I agree.
Anything you'd like else to add to this topic, or do we move on? Moving on.
Love
Moving on
yourself,
swiftly?
innit? Love yourself.
All right, so guys, you're probably wondering why is Nicole here? Basically, I saw your post. I can't remember where I saw it. It was circulating around social media, and I think the last time I checked, you've had over 2,000 likes.
That's right.
And I'm grateful. I had. You know what I did? I had to slide in her DMs, and then right under her picture, please check your DMs. I was that thirsty guy.
You were that person. Oh my God.
I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Did you do
Said-
the multiple likes as well?
No.
I don't think I did. Thank
No,
you
no,
for
no.
verifying. Probably at some point I was like, oh, she's so
So what
pretty.
she did do is she put the check your DMs on like a different picture so it would stand out.
Yeah.
That's so
Clever.
smart. I
Yeah, I
like.
thought, let me go and hold on. Otherwise, someone would be like, who's this girl trying to finesse her, trying to slide in her DMs? I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
no.
that's smart.
But basically, something took place, but I'm going to leave you to explain it. And I felt like it was very important to have someone who is open to speak about the topic. And like, I love the way you handled it, and I'm very proud of you. But over to you, Nicole.
Thank you. So I can't actually remember the day.
25th of September on a Saturday,
25th
Jeez.
September. Yeah, I know it was a Saturday.
8:55.
8:55. So yeah, we were just we popped into Papa John's. Me and my boyfriend. He walked in, and I stood at the doorway, and I was just on my phone. So he said his name to pick up the order, and as I'm just standing there on my phone, just minding my business on Instagram, a guy brushes past me. But as he's brushed past me, he's also touched my bottom, my ass, my whatever you want to call it.
So you said grabbed his, in your
Yeah.
thing, you wrote grabbed your bum.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you know, he just walked past and done that, and then my reaction to it was I looked up and I was like, "Are you joking?" Like that was my like reaction, like joking, as in this has to like someone has to be pranking me. Like this can't be real. This can't be like surely not. So as he's walked past me, I've said, "Are you joking?" I've looked up. Are you joking? He's looked back at me and he smiled, and I just couldn't my mind just wasn't
Mind-boggling.
connecting. Like I was not understanding. And as he smiled, I'm like, okay, he knows that I know. So he started walking away, and then I can't remember what I said. It's all a fog. But I was like, "Are you joking? Like, what did you do? Why did he touch me? Blah blah." Then my boyfriend's come out. I've had to grab onto the guy now because he's carried on walking. He was like, "It was a joke. It was a joke, love. It was a joke." And then I remember grabbing him, but like reminding myself to let go of him because I felt like the longer I held on, the more likely I was to like attack him. And I looked at my boyfriend at one point, and he was just standing there in shock. Like his brain was also not understanding that this was happening to us. You know, it happens to other people, not us on Upper Street at 8:55 in the afternoon in front of people. And then like he started like walking off, and he just kept saying, "I'm joking, calm down," smiling and laughing about it. And my boyfriend just reacted and took him off me and grabbed him, and he was trying to cross the road. And people were walking past, people were sat there having their meal, and I was just in my head, I'm just like, why is no one doing or saying anything? Why are people just sitting down? And at this point I'm hyperventilating. I've never understood when people say my legs were shaking. I've never experienced that in my life. But that day I understood what it was. My legs would not stop trembling. And one lady, she stopped to like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I was on the phone to the police, but it kept ringing, and somebody would answer, and obviously you just say police, or you just say whatever you need, right? And I'm like, "Please, please, please," and it just kept ringing, and then somebody would answer again, and I'd say, "Please, please," and it just keep ringing. I wasn't understanding why no one was picking up, why was no one helping me. So I said to the lady, "I need help. Like, why are they not answering? Why?" At this point, like, I'm crying, shaking, knees are going, nah. And she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna try my phone," but she's still like looking at me, like trying to assess me, like, "Are you drunk? Are you not drunk? What's going on?" And she was like, "I'll do it from my phone," but she's not doing anything to take her phone out. And I'm giving her my phone, and she's not doing anything. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, Upper Street at 8:50, like 9 o'clock, no police. Like when there's always police driving up and down, walking up and down.
Good old London.
And at that moment, I was just like, why is what's meant to happen not happening? And then at that point, a police car drove past. Not the police that were coming for me. Someone flagged them down. And I just remember like they were just taking their sweet time to get out the car. Like they started parking the car, reversing. normally they just park it in the
Yeah,
middle of the
anyhow,
road
yeah.
and come
And leave
out.
their
But
lights
these, oh, they were
flashing.
doing up reversing, checking mirrors,
I
everything.
can imagine also it's all slow as well.
Exactly. In my mind, everything's like slow motion.
Mm.
So I'm like to the lady, why are they taking their time? Like, come on, like, come on. And then he's like, still like, it was a joke, it was a joke. Police came, separated him and then me and my boyfriend on the side. And yeah.
How did you feel the police's attitude was when they finally started speaking to him?
A female officer spoke to me first, while a male officer spoke to him. I thought she was going to be a bit more understanding. Like, it's okay, like, don't worry, relax. So what happened? But she was quite stern.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
Yeah.
their job or she just didn't
The
have
majority
no
of them are
feelings.
like that. The majority they're quite stern. They're quite yeah.
To the point.
Well,
Like, I
they
don't
have
care
to
about
be
your
matter of
feelings. Let
fact,
me
though.
know.
They have to be clear
Yeah.
with that.
Uh,
Yeah.
It threw me off. I was not
Yeah.
expecting it.
This is not what they show us in the movies.
Yeah. Honestly, normally like sit down, have a glass of water,
Yeah.
nothing. What happened? What's your name? What's your age? And then the police officer swapped. So she went to him, he came to me. I don't know what happened. And then swapped again. And she came to me, the police officer came to me, she was like, it's okay, like, it's fine. He has admitted it on camera. And I'm like, oh, like a sigh of relief, like, okay, great, this is great news. So then they asked me, do you want to arrest him? I was like, yeah, definitely, 100%. And then as soon as they started reading out his rights to him, I remember that the restaurant that we were next to, they started putting on really loud music, but like they turned it up on purpose. But it was like someone's birthday. But it sounds quite like, how dare you? Like something's going on, don't put the music on. And then, but it felt to me like they were reading his rights, but because they were all like singing happy birthday, it kind of felt like I've won.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay, it's like it timed perfectly
Yeah,
for you.
it timed perfectly. And then as they're reading his rights, his face dropped. He couldn't believe what was happening. He was like, are you serious? He was like, what? Like,
It's a very humbling moment.
Did you at that point say, just joking?
yeah, I absolutely did. I said, this is where your joke,
Good.
this is where your joke got you.
Yeah.
And he just started throwing abuse at me, like shouting abuse at me, at us.
Was he handcuffed or removed? Or?
Yep, he was handcuffed, he was searched, taken across. As he's crossing the road, he's still looking back, shouting
So
abuse.
just out of curiosity, just to fast forward a little bit, have you spoken to the police since he's been arrested? Do you know what's happened?
Unfortunately, the police haven't been that helpful. I'm sure they are doing a lot behind the scenes, but they haven't been helpful, to say the least.
Did you feel at any point that you were made to feel like you're overreacting?
Yeah, in that moment in time when I was screaming and shouting in the road, as I was looking at other people walking past and having their dinner, I just felt like people were thinking this girl's overreacting. Like she must be drunk. She has to be drunk.
Which is what you said, like the woman
Yeah.
is assessing whether you're sober or
Yeah,
not,
exactly.
so why you're
Yeah,
behaving the way you are.
Because I was screaming and shouting. I looked crazy. I was acting not like I was going out my mind. Fair enough, but
Do you feel like there's an adrenaline at the time?
yeah, there's an adrenaline because as soon as it happened, I either said to myself, I either put it in my mind that I'm like feeling things like it's not real, or I step up for everyone else that's gone through it.
No, I respect
Like I
that.
owe it to Sarah. I owe it to remind me of her name, Sabina.
There's
I
so
owe it
many.
to
There's
everybody.
so many women.
So many.
So, and I just thought, you know what? How many other women have you done it to coming down the road?
Yeah.
And how many more are you going to do it as you walk past?
Yeah. It's
Because
enabled
it's a
behavior.
joke.
I think it's enabled because people stay silent,
Yeah.
and therefore it's deemed it's not that deep.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
Fizz, you're gonna say something? Sorry.
I was going to ask, though, your question about, to you, Nicole, about did you think people thought you were overreacting? The general public, you did think that's probably why they were gawking. But did you feel like you got that from the police as well?
Like they expected something bigger when you approach them.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's quite difficult. Like I said, the female officer, she was quite direct, quite straightforward, straight to the point. Whereas the male officer, he took us home and he sat down with us and took the statement. the fact that he questioned me so much, okay, so what happened? And he took notes of everything, it made me feel like, okay, he cares. You know, he wasn't rushing me. He, it's in that moment in time when something so awful happens to you, everything just becomes a word vomit. And he helped me put what I was saying and what I was thinking, what I was feeling
Piece it
into
together.
words.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was really helpful.
My next question, actually, just in regards to the reaction. So when you posted it on social media, did you feel like people were very supportive, or did you feel like you had like a mixture of people's? Because obviously, Instagram, everyone becomes a keyboard warrior.
Yeah.
Did you get, what was the general feeling that you had, and did you receive any negativity?
Everyone was, well, I say everyone. I would say like 98% of everybody were really, really, really supportive, encouraging. It was really nice to see the men really reaching out to me, saying how proud they are, how it shouldn't happen, and just creating awareness. But yeah, like you said, like, you know, there'll always be the one or two keyboard warriors. Okay, well, you know, there's no evidence, or your boyfriend should have done more.
But did anyone say, oh, it wasn't that deep?
No one. I feel like no one said that. More people were like, you shouldn't have to say what you were wearing, kind of thing.
But regardless of what you're wearing,
regardless
you
of what
shouldn't
you,
be.
as in, oh, it was just a grope on the bum, like it's not that big a deal.
But
Like, no one ever said anything.
But I get why you're
But that's
saying
good,
it,
yeah.
because you're also trying to say, before someone starts telling me, oh, you're dressed inappropriately, and I
you
have
were
to have
out
this
late, you were out
argument,
by yourself, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
you just go, actually, yeah, it was just a normal day.
Literally a normal day. We were grabbing pizza to go back to the apartment to watch a movie with my boyfriend's little brother.
Mad.
And we
And the
came
whole
home with
evening
police.
was
Yeah.
ruined.
Yeah.
Completely.
Sorry, I just wanted to point something out. So I know you were explaining about the police officers, one being quite stern and all of that, and they were both basically asking you the same questions and then going between each other. The reason why they do that is to make sure that your story is consistent from both sides.
Okay.
So they're not doing it to make you feel a ways. They're doing it, they get you to repeat it to make sure that what you're telling them is the truth. Because when you're lying, it's so easy to slip up.
But also, if you're in shock, you might say something and trip on your words and recollect something differently.
And also, you're incredibly emotional in that moment. And you're trying to get your words out, and it's probably not making sense. They ask you again, and they ask you again, and they ask you, but that's all they're doing. They're just checking.
Ben, I got a question for you. What do you think the percentages of women in the UK who have been subjected to one or more acts of sexual violence since birth?
Why did you ask me this?
What? No, because you're a man. Out of curiosity, what would you reckon the percentages roughly
Of reported?
This is a really very
no, just general.
Just general.
This is a very so before I answer the question, I haven't said anything to anyone. I haven't said anything to the people, to the team here, but I know people that are close to me, family members that have had similar experience to what you've had. I know colleagues that I've worked with when we go female consultants that they go on site, and they've had male managers corner them in rooms and give them ultimatums. So I would say that the percentage of that is quite high. It would probably be 60, maybe 70% of women. It's higher. See, there you go.
99.3% of all UK women have experienced.
So that means that every single woman at some point,
pretty much,
in their entire life has had something happen to them which they didn't want, or an approach they didn't want.
And the reality is probably it's 100%, and it's that person hasn't acknowledged it, or they haven't acknowledged it as being, because it's so desensitized as a normality, or it's not that deep, or like inappropriate
brushed under the
touching.
carpet.
Like, so in regards to your situation, I've had that done to me as well. And I've had it to me a couple of times, and my reaction is I don't know what to do. So when I say I respect you highly for doing that, because when it first happens, you're just like, nah, that's not real.
Which is why my reaction was, are you joking?
Yeah, are you kidding me? And this is like, I remember at the time it happened once. I was in Elephant Castle, it was a busy area, and I felt like if I made a big hoo-ha about it, everyone's gonna just be like, why are you disturbing the situation? Or so I was gonna have too much attention on me, and I'm gonna be that person who's just trying to cause drama or whatever. So I literally, like, I think I switched on him for like a split second, and I just kind of like froze at the same time, and it's just I don't know what to do. So he just laughed and walked off,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I was just like,
Yeah,
down, like this is it.
Yeah, no, it's like happened to me as well. Like at Finsbury Park, going up the stairs that go round. I'm going up. A group of boys are coming down. Minding my business. Go past them, and they touch me, my bum again. So I've turned around. I'm like, probably the same thing. Are you joking? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on? And they just ran off and started laughing.
So
Yeah.
so was this previously in like?
Yeah, when I was younger, I was probably 20 at the time.
I was gonna ask you, was that your first encounter of?
Possibly not. I wouldn't be surprised if no. So
Yeah.
clubbing, it happens loads of times.
That's true.
At clubs, it happens so many times, but it's so difficult to say something. One, because the men around you, their first instinct is to fight. And then that's going to cause a whole...
Oh, as in the people that
kicking
you're with,
out.
you worry, it's
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
cause drama.
One.
Yeah, 100%.
Two, you're like drinking, so you start questioning yourself. Was he drunk and maybe he like accidentally bumped into me, or or maybe I'm like, I'm too drunk and I didn't, I'm just imagining it. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen to me when I was.
Can I
much
ask
younger.
Ben a question?
Ask
Go
me.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're sitting in a room full of 3 ladies now, and
Yeah.
100% of us have said we've experienced at least once some kind
Bruh,
of
more
unwanted
than
sexual.
once.
Same here. I'll tell you my bus stop story. But how does that make you feel, knowing that you're sitting in the company of 3 women?
So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. If you think about it from the age of when you develop, go through puberty, and boys and girls go through puberty, the advances that a girl will get, as soon as you walk out the door for a girl, you're getting advances from the age of 13, probably younger, 12,
Depending how you develop.
depending how you develop. So
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. And the herd mentality, especially when you get a group of guys together, I've done stuff with the boys, not to that. Anything
I was going to
to that
ask you,
extreme.
have you ever, if looking back, do you feel like you were guilty of something that maybe you didn't realize was
There are
that deep?
things that I've done where I'd say it's not my finest moment, I'm not proud of, but it's not been to a case where I've never been in a club, or I've never been to a festival, I've never been out on road sober and wanted to pinch someone's bum. I've looked at a girl and thought she looks good, but I've never been like, I want to
Never
pinch her bum.
physically touched her.
Like,
But have you been in the company of have you
not
had any friends or acquaintances?
the boys.
So the
no.
reason why I asked this
the
question,
boys.
and I put something out on my stories a few weeks ago after your post came out, about if 100% of, let's face it, it's 100%.
That's the truth, yeah.
If 100% of women are saying they've
yep.
been assaulted in some way, it's not one man going around assaulting 100% of women. This means that there's a high percentage of men doing these actions, committing these crimes. So my point was, and I really wanted the guys, the men, to really sit and think about this, is that if so many women are saying this has happened to them, that means someone a man that is out there doing this.
Do you know what? A lot also, I think there's a lot of men who won't want to admit it, because you said it's not a guy's finest moment if like you didn't realize. Like there's a lot of things that men don't realize that is considered assault or no consent, like stuff like that. Like for example, you're having sex, take off a condom. That's you've changed the consent.
Yeah.
Like you're
The terms and conditions of the contract.
yeah,
has changed.
everything keeps changing, and guys, sometimes there's a level of ignorance where a guy might do something because his environment has always shown that like it's okay to like grab a girl's arm when you're trying to chat to her or whatever, whereas so then therefore they'll never know that actually they're doing something that's inappropriate. But to the point where now you're, as a woman, you're made to feel maybe you're overreacting. Like it's not that
That's
deep.
always the
Stop
case.
kicking off. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. I feel like I always feared having that much attention where someone's gonna make me feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
Or I'd the self-doubt kick in and you'd be like, yeah, maybe I should just stay quiet.
Now, the bravery that you had to show in that moment to be consistent and just be like, I'm not letting this go.
Yeah.
This isn't letting this go. And then afterwards for the guy to be walking away and then to be shouting abuse like you've done something wrong.
But then it just
Yeah.
shows you how warped.
Yeah, how
Some people
entitled
are.
some
So
people.
you
How
think your
normal
body
it
is
is
mine,
for him.
you think my body is yours, and then when I say no, it's not, you're walking away and you're shouting like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to contain myself being that
If
partner.
you were to
Not
witness
saying that
it.
your boyfriend or partner
Well, he
did
did what he
anything
had
wrong.
to do,
He didn't do anything wrong in the slightest. I'm saying for myself, I don't know if I'll be able to contain
Yeah,
myself.
I think a lot of men were saying that like they don't understand how he contained himself, how he didn't just lash out at him. And I think it's so easy to say
After the
this
fact,
is what
yeah.
I would have done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But when,
it's so
when you're
easy.
in that
Because
moment,
he was, he was that person. No, if this happens, he'll get it or stuff.
But on the flip side, you call the police. Your boyfriend's now attacked this man, or like obviously reacted because he felt like he's trying to protect you, reacting towards you. Now we have to answer more questions.
Yeah.
But
Why
also
did
And now
those-
it turns. Now you're gonna get arrested. He's gonna get arrested. You might be aggravated. You might be the person who's aggravated the situation when actually it's taken away from the whole purpose.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I actually respect the fact that your man held it
he
down.
did,
Yeah.
100%.
And
Yeah,
just
yeah.
adding to that, so
That's the ego that kicks in as well. If a
Yeah.
guy was to attack another guy,
Yeah.
yeah. So in that situation when you were saying people were the bystanders were just bystanding.
That's a London thing.
they love
Yeah.
they love to grab a phone and film.
No,
yeah,
They'll
it
never
is,
call
but
the police.
as in
Londoners don't like to get involved.
involved. But when Nicole was saying when she's trying to hold this guy to stop him from going away, and she's shouting and screaming at him, and also trying to get the attention of people to ask for help. If your boyfriend was to jump in and try and punch or whatever, guaranteed those people will then get up and
Oh,
be like,
100%.
"Oh yeah, I'm a witness. I saw this
Yeah.
fight. I saw this
Yeah.
fight." But they're not gonna stand up and say, "I actually did witness a sexual
Yeah.
assault."
Or like, not even like, if you didn't see it, you didn't see it. But, if I'm there crying, asking you for help, like, and you can
Yeah.
see me in, not suffering, but in
You're under a
despair.
lot of
Distress.
you're
You're in
very
distress.
Someone get
distressed.
up and offer me a chair, offer me a drink.
Yeah, just come ask
Nobody,
if you're okay.
I think we live in a very weird time where everyone's reluctant to help. And
no
it's
one wants
just-
to get involved.
Yeah, no one wants
Yeah.
to get involved. People are too fast to bring their cameras out, like I said earlier. Anyone could have just called the police for you and said, "Look, something's kicking off. I don't know what it is, but the woman looks distressed," without even letting you know. And
There's no police there, an angel.
In that moment, no. And like you said, things were going
angel where police are
slow.
just circulating round
Yeah,
that whole.
yeah.
Jeez.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
King's Cross down the road.
No,
Yeah, I
honestly.
think that's what it is. There's not enough people willing to speak up and do things. I'm a total opposite. My mum says to me, "Heather, you need to relax. Like, you're not invincible." Because the minute I see something, my natural thing is to jump in. Sometimes I freeze if I see like someone bring out a weapon or whatever. I'll have like a moment where I'm like, I want to move, but I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I mean, that
I have a little bit of
grabbing
anxiety.
him, I also thought to myself, well, what about if he lashes out at me?
Well, that's it. You don't know his force, and you don't know whether he's very
God gave me the
harmless.
strength.
No, well
Yeah.
done for doing that. I
Yeah.
swear to God. Because some
Yeah.
people, and I guarantee you, there'll be at least 2% of men who are watching this, even a couple of women who've been desensitized to sexual harassment, who'll be like, it's not that deep. 100%. There'll be someone who will say
The older
that.
generation.
Yeah, older generation and some of the younger generations who've had to, because men now are a bit more fast paced
Yeah,
with
and
how they
some-
move and what they think they're entitled to. Like the mentality of if I'm paying £300 for your dinner, then I'm expecting you to have sex with me.
Yeah.
So there's a mentality attached to the newer generation, and then the older generation. Fizz, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, I was going to say that some people from the older generation see that kind of unwanted contact as a form of flattery, as in, oh,
Don't lie.
yeah, they
Or
do.
if you're older and you haven't had any interaction or
Yeah,
any
they see it as
advancements.
she's so desirable. Like, if a young woman was to go to her, I don't know, oldest mum or something and said, "A guy touched me like this." Some older, I'm not saying all, because I think for the majority, it is a case of you didn't want this contact, it's wrong. But some people, I think, see it as, oh, well, it's because you're an attractive woman, it's bound to happen.
But
You
that's
should allow this
but
to
that's
happen.
conditioning. That's
Yes.
different. That's not flattery. That's
No,
conditioning.
but as in, that's the conditioning that they're trying to pass on, which is you should be flattered.
But I also feel to an extent it's happened to me. I've been told to just get over it and see it as a compliment. So now I've inherited.
That's what I mean about
Okay.
you're being told to accept it as like be flattered. Be flattered that a man has grabbed you out of nowhere.
Wow.
Who
Yeah.
did you speak to besides the police? So you, I don't know, the police have gone, and I don't know if you had the meal, you calmed down. You obviously the adrenaline has gone.
Yeah.
Was there anyone that you told?
Yeah.
afterwards?
So my mum was and currently still is abroad. So I was quite hesitant to tell her because I don't want to stress her out. I don't know what
course, yeah.
her
But she slaps it on
reaction.
Instagram instead. I'm joking.
no. Obviously, I did tell my friends and family beforehand. But yeah, no, I called her straight away after the police went. I called her. I told her. Well, she's got a bit stressed out. But after I told her, my mom's my best friend. So until my mum knows what's going on, I don't feel relaxed. So once I've told her, I've relaxed. But it's only after I've told her and I've relaxed that my body went into shock. And I started shaking uncontrollably. But it was fine. Like, obviously, I calmed down, whatever. Told my mum the next day, my boyfriend had to take his brother back to his house. So I was left by myself. But before he left, I called my dad and I was like, hey, can you come and stay with me? I don't want to be by myself.
See, that's what people don't understand. They are
Called my dad and he was like, oh, okay. That happened. Okay. I was like, okay, fine.
So did your dad think that you were? It wasn't necessary for him to come and stay over.
Yeah, I don't think he thought it was that big of a deal.
I think because some people measure sexual assault as something like, oh, did he rape you? Did he?
Yeah.
Girl, what's happening there?
Just wanted to get comfy.
She's adding effects, and
I was,
dramatic effects to the
Sorry,
situation.
Nicole, I feel you
But
made you jump.
unfortunately, there are people who go, okay, but I don't see any bruises. I don't see like nothing happened. Like I don't understand.
Yeah.
that's-
Yeah.
that's
So
light
my
work.
dad's reaction was like, to me, the way it came across, it was like, you're overreacting, like it's not that deep. But at the same
interesting.
time, I also called my godmother to come and like, if she could come make me some dinner, lunch.
Look at this
'cause I
girl.
really
Get it for.
wasn't-
Let me see you can cater to me while I'm vulnerable right now.
Listen, I was not trying to get up. I was
Yeah.
not trying to do anything.
Yeah.
And so she came and she was like, oh, so what happened? I was like, oh, this and that happened. And she kind of just like laughed. Like,
The older
Done that.
generation.
But do you know what it is? It's because it's such a
yeah,
normalized,
exactly.
accepted thing amongst women. Like I cannot
Exactly.
emphasize. Like I've been to work events, I've been to other events, networking events, where I've had guys put the arm around my waist and think it's okay to like pull, like as they're holding, like as they're talking to me, they can hold me at the same time, and it's just like, hey, now if I say something, I'm being dramatic.
Yeah.
So instead, I kind of time it. I'm like, okay, wait 10 seconds and scoop yourself out.
Yeah.
And then just act like everything's okay. So it's like, yeah, that's fine. You're inappropriate touching me and you're squeezing my waist. But if I say anything, I'm either going to ruin an opportunity for myself or I'm going to be that woman who causes an issue at a workplace or or an environment that there's opportunities in and like names or whatever. Or I'm just to that person, relax, it's not that deep. I've heard that so many times.
I think there's. So I get what you're saying about not speaking up because it might ruin opportunities and stuff like that. I feel like we as women have to take a bit more, like I say accountability. What I mean is a bit more responsibility in speaking up. We don't have to be screaming and shouting in that moment when a guy is grabbing our waist. We could just be like, "Do you think this is appropriate?"
I've done that.
Yeah, and then obviously if a guy's like, well, yeah, then you'd be like, is it actually, like, I think we can challenge them a bit more in a different way. Obviously, in the situation that you were in, Nicole, you were out in public.
Yeah.
And this random guy just did what he
Walking
did.
past.
I would have reacted the exact same way.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. When you're in a professional environment,
Yeah.
you feel like you can't. You feel like, oh my God, what if I...
So I have addressed it.
Yeah.
And to people, but at a different time.
Yeah.
So I'll address it in the sense of I'll tell them they'll be like, oh, something. I'm like, okay, how would you feel if your sister,
Yeah.
someone did that to your sister, and they'll be like,
It's-
yeah, but it's not like that, Hebs. It's not like
Yeah,
that. Why are
they
you
would
making
never
it
touch
out?
my sister
No,
like
no,
that.
no, no.
No,
Why
no.
are you making it out like it's something? You know, my intentions aren't like, but that was what it is.
Yeah. And if it's 100% of women saying it, that means someone did that to your sister. But the reason why I'm saying we need to be more vocal is because certain kinds of behavior, like what you experience, what we've experienced, is escalating. So it starts off with a little bum grab. Next time it will be a let me grab her completely. Next time it will be what we've seen recently in the news about people literally being kidnapped, literally being dragged into dark, quiet places and losing their life.
Even by the people that you think.
Yeah, because the police officer who killed Sarah Everard started off by flashing people.
I got flashed.
Yeah,
I've been flashed a couple of times.
No,
I think the youngest.
I think
the youngest. Sorry, the youngest I've been flashed.
Even Ty's like, what's going on? Like,
Yeah. I've been
exactly.
Flashed.
What's going
I've been
on?
flashed. I've been flashed on the train when I was maybe 13.
On the train,
13 or
bro.
12. It was an empty train.
What? What?
It's a thrill. It's a thrill. They're perverted and they're. I've had a guy. Sorry. Really quickly. Please remember your thought.
Okay.
I've had a guy. No joke. Okay, this is international. This is in Egypt, right? We're going. My best friend and I are walking down the street. She's from Sudan. She's not from. It's her first time in Egypt, and I've taken her out to a shopping center. And then this guy's in his car, and we're walking this way. He's parked up, so we're facing the same direction. And as we're going past, he can see us in his side mirror. He grabs her breast. He gets his hand out, grabs her breast, literally pinches her nipple, and we look in, and he's got his piece out. And then we were like, we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. So we started walking, and he started edging forward. I'm like, cross the road, other direction. We can't kick up. Like, people are going to be like, oh, what did you do? What were you wearing? Like, but my guy was waiting on someone to go past.
Oh my God. It's like a prey.
Literally.
Yeah, predators.
Like, there's
that
layers
behavior would have
to this.
escalated. He didn't just randomly wake up one day and go, I'm going to grab me some titty out of my car window.
Today. Sorry.
Sorry, we don't mean to make light of the very
no,
serious
Sometimes you
situation.
have to laugh though because.
But he would have started off by following a girl, which he did with you two, following a girl, and then
Take it. Seriously, no.
Ben's just shocked. But
No.
this is the unfortunate reality.
Yeah.
No.
And when this is what I mean about the behavior escalates, when a guy can get away with flashing. And he see what it is that, you know, when people say he got a thrill, the thrill is seeing the shock in people's face, the upset
And
in
not
people's
doing
face.
anything about it.
Yeah, and not doing it.
And
It's
there's control.
psychopathic behavior, but it's because they, in that moment, they have exactly like you said, full control, and they can cause a lot of upset to people. And then that behavior escalates, and it's very, very worrying. So I try to have conversations with people going, well, if you see someone doing something small, you should really try and nip it in the bud then before it turns into they're on the news for murdering someone.
We're going to start raising these kids, man. I'm telling you.
A lot of men need to be raised.
It's not,
raising these kids.
Ben,
And
it's
women.
not the kids though.
That's where it starts because when you're going...
It starts with the kids, yes, but it starts with also some of the older gen who are still allowing and still, but when I say allowing, they're allowing it by not talking about it, and they're allowing it
There's a lot
by
of things that we
putting it
don't-
under the carpet.
don't talk to our kids about and don't talk in the household about.
About what's unacceptable behavior and just being, not saying that
Yeah.
your child's doing it, but let's
But
just
just say,
lay it
like-
out straight.
Yeah.
Like we're teaching right now, we're teaching my son who is going to be 2. If he doesn't want someone to touch him inappropriately, he needs to say no. This boy will scream no.
And that's good.
He's going to nursery. A stranger is changing his nappy. People don't think about this. When you give your child to a nursery, a stranger has to change and see your child naked.
Yeah, see the genitals.
You have to, that's accepted. That just happens.
Yeah.
And we're all like that.
Yeah.
So now we have to teach him, if someone touches you inappropriately, you need to say no. He's 2.
Yeah.
2. He's just learned to say his name. And that's the thing that is just like,
I mean, that's the whole other area of
yeah, it's
obviously
just
like
wild.
people
Just-
that take advantage of vulnerable people, i.e. young kids. Nicole, what is your ethnicity, if you don't mind me asking?
Colombian.
Okay.
Latina.
She's Latino. Oh my God, I had someone the other day ask me, literally I was at work, and the lady's like, Latina?
No.
And I'm like,
Beg.
Wallahi.
Beg.
Wallahi.
Beg.
I've had bare ethnicities. And she literally starts speaking to me in her language. I'm like, no,
What
mommy,
is-
not me.
what, Spanish. Spanish, right? It's Spanish.
I don't know.
Spanish.
Okay, cool. She spoke to me in Spanish, but then she's like, she said something to me, and I smiled, and then she went, Latina? And I said, no.
No.
She went, are you sure? And like,
I'm
yeah.
not sure.
And
Questioning me.
I'm like, can I have mamacita? I said,
No,
okay, I need me a
I
papi.
beg you. Oh my lord! Look at trying to take your heritage.
Hey. So I asked this to ask, do you think it's because obviously your dad didn't react in a certain way, your godmother didn't react in a certain manner. Do you feel like there's a thing when it comes to minorities and parents, like are your parents first generation here?
Yeah, they arrived here.
So do you feel like there's something deeper rooted within our own communities and our own culture where maybe certain behaviours are acceptable?
I think it depends on the person, what life journeys they've had. You know, they both came not at the same time, a couple of years apart, but the way my mum reacted was a bit more, I don't know, again, it's just one of those, my mum reacted because she's, I guess, been through it as well, so she understands. My dad's a man and he's not gone through it. So he doesn't understand. Yeah. And like another male in the family, his reaction, who's also first generation, said to me, oh, I heard that, you know, that happened to you. Maybe you need to cover up more.
Jesus,
there we go.
Christ.
And you're not even coming from like an ignorant Muslim household,
Yeah,
like
and I
where
was
it's like a
like-
culture and religion thing.
I was
What-
like,
it's
what was
not
your
even.
response?
So
It's not
I
a
sent
Muslim thing, no,
the
of course
little emoji, the face.
The face.
Yeah, the face.
The
Face. And then his next response was,
That's really sad.
and to think that you want a bigger bum.
But that's another thing. I've not analysed your bum. You can give me a tour later, but ooh, sounds really inappropriate. Girl. But sorry. So because of my shape, people think it's okay
Yeah.
to say certain things. That's another thing. Sexual harassment isn't just in the form of touching.
Trust me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I think
Verbal.
the majority that people go unnoticed is the verbal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the heckling, like even in the gym. I remember I had to write a complaint to one of my gyms because some guy was heckling me in the middle of the gym as I was doing weights. Like, you don't understand how hard it is for a woman to enter the gym alone,
Especially in the free
let
weights,
alone to enter the weight section.
Yeah.
Because you're literally, everyone looking at you going, okay, she's a woman. Okay, let's see what she can do. Or who does she think she is? Or like, or they start sexualizing you.
Let me just say, no guys thinking that.
No, they do.
No. I'm telling you.
Ben, you might.
It happened to me.
No. Listen. What guys thinking is.
Hold on, what?
They-
Sorry.
Oh, no, wait, let him
moment.
think.
Yes.
1 second, let him think what he
Okay.
thinks.
What guys thinking when a woman comes into free weights is she, depending on how she looks, they're just watching.
But
They're just watching.
that's where I got heckled.
They're
That's
just
what it
watching,
is.
yeah.
But no, but he was like, oh, what's a pretty girl like you doing in this area?
Bruv.
And then as I'm doing my weights, he's like, oh, do you want to stretch a little bit more? Do you want to do this a little bit more? Like, he was proper hardcore perv. It was so surreal, like a bit like how you felt. It's like, this is real. And I thought, do you know, it's my first time in this
Go ahead.
gym.
No, come on,
I'm
Fizz.
bursting.
Go on,
Sorry,
Fizz.
Hez.
No,
Finish
go
your
for
point.
it. No, it's cool.
So
Go
what
for
I
it.
wanted to say, Ben, and I really hope you don't get upset with me by pointing this out, but what you did just then is an issue that we're facing. So Hebs is saying she was heckled at the gym,
I
and
never
you
said
went,
she
guys,
wasn't.
don't do that.
No.
No,
I didn't say
wait.
that. She said she thought this is what guys.
No, but that is
No,
what
but
guys
that is
think.
what is happening. The thing is, you're saying,
Not all guys,
based on
obviously.
your experience, that you do not do this. That is cool, Ben. We believe that you don't do this. But guys do this. You go to the gym. We go to the gym. We, like, Hebs, I've seen it happen to you. It's happened to me. Doesn't even have to be going to the gym. It's stuff like getting the bus home, walking home from the bus stop, going to the supermarket to buy my groceries. And then when people make comments like, what were you wearing? A big ass duffel coat. You can't see nothing,
can't
but
even
someone
see the
still
figure.
slips a hand under your coat to grab your bum.
Yeah, the response should be.
But-
shouldn't matter.
but
what
That's
I'm
what-
effort.
That hella
God
effort. This
damn.
is
On a
what
winter
happened.
night, my hands are
On a
numb.
winter
That's
night,
effort.
he fully went there. But the reason why I'm pointing this out, Ben,
Yeah.
not to single you out, but just to sort of show people why that kind of comment, dismissive comment, is really damaging, is because what you've done is what other men do. So when I've
They
spoken to
downplay.
men about, if 100% of women are saying this, guaranteed it's someone you know in your circle who's done this. If it's someone you
yourself.
don't know, then it's you. Straight denial. Nah, never. None of
But
my
do you know
boys
what it
could
is? Because
never.
some men, because they associate with a perverted,
Yeah.
weird, like horrible individual with a
Yeah,
nasty
they-
soul.
it's
When
like the
actually-
boogeyman. They think it's the
yeah,
boogeyman.
when actually it's just a regular guy who is just an enjoyment. Like he could be man them, like proper cool.
Yeah.
And he's not in his eyes and his head. He's not being malicious. He's just comfortable.
Yes.
He's familiar.
But the reason
But
why I
there's-
just wanted,
But society's made it familiar.
made it familiar, made it too comfortable. The reason why I wanted to point this out is because too many people dismiss it. So dismiss when a woman is talking about her experiences by going, no, men don't do that. No, they don't think like that. But
that
they do, because this is 100% of women saying this happens to us, and this there must be a thought process behind it.
And not just that, but as a result of the immediate responses, such as what were you wearing, cover up, now you want a bigger bum. No, that's not the case. Women don't want to step forward and charge, like go to the police. They don't want to talk about people. They don't want to be that person who's made to feel they're being dramatic. And that's the reality. Is like the reason why I've never kicked off and pressed charges or did anything is because they'll be like, but there's people dying. Like
Well,
you're calling us for this.
What is the appropriate way to talk to your male friends or your friends in general? Because these will be my friends. Maybe I don't know what they've done in the past or what they've been capable of. Because when you're with your friends, these are people that you've grown up with. So what do you say to your boys? How do you educate them?
Bro, do you think that was the right thing to do?
I think it's being
start with a
mindful.
question.
I think what he's saying is, when you're with friends, you act a certain manner, but when you're alone or when they're alone, they might do things that they wouldn't do in front of you. Is that what you're trying to maybe?
But I don't
Like,
think
think
that's
about
a
it. Think about it now.
calculated thing.
Remember a couple episodes you said, I said I've failed a number of times in education, and Heb's first reaction was, "What, you failed?" Imagine if she found out, or you found out, me, that I had touched someone inappropriately. Your whole persona of me, or your whole perception of me, would just be like,
That's
Ben-
not the
Ben
Ben
would
I
never-
know,
Ben-
Yeah,
never
that's
do
not the
that.
Ben I know, of course. But at the same time, we have to start believing when people say these things.
And
Because what's happening is we put so much onus on the victim, on the survivors,
do, yeah,
to prove it,
yeah.
when really we should be holding people who do these kind of things more and more
And
accountable.
there's a lot of people who drop charges for that reason, because it's so much hassle for them to prove, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's sexual assault, verbally, physically, where the women go, do you know what, I feel so defeated, this is so long.
Yeah.
Like I'm going through all of this and it's like the people are making me doubt. That they're making me feel like I'm actually lying.
Yeah.
And so it's about holding people accountable, even if it's not going, yo, Lewis, I know you did this to this girl. It's like just having a conversation. Men need to have a dialogue about acceptable behavior. And I get we live in a generation where it's like, do I have consent to touch you, to hold your hand? Like when you're in a relationship, you worry about crossing certain lines because of the Me Too movements and whatnot. But then we can just have basic dialogues of conversation of like, bro, like I get it. This is what you think you're doing, or just open the conversation,
But
see how it
also-
flows, because you'll see how blasé they are. If
Also,
they're very-
there's a lot of things happening in the news right now. We're seeing so much within the
So
space
many
of
women
6 months.
feeling
We've seen two
unsafe.
absolutely horrific cases. Why can't men be in their group chats, not just talking about FIFA and PlayStation, do that, but also going, have you seen this case?
My
What,
work, do you know
like,
my
yeah.
workplace straight away? We had a department meeting, and they've issued safety thingy guarding things.
But that, okay, so I'm glad
But-
that they do.
But we also open a dialogue
But it
about
pisses
conversation.
me off a little bit that the onus is always on the vulnerable. Oh, this is how you need to protect yourself. But like, I'm glad that they're starting to have conversations. But actually, it needs to be more than. It needs to be more like, first off,
Control your men.
protect yourself. But you need to control your men. There needs to be tighter like sentence. There needs to be harsher sentences. There needs to be a deterrent to this kind of behavior, and there isn't enough. But I just wanted to also ask you guys, like, how many cases do you think actually go to court and people get convicted?
So
You might have done the research.
no. I looked at one stat. I saw something like 1 in 3 women. Something else, I can't remember. But
Yeah, 1 in
I'd
3
say-
women may report a crime that's happened
Yeah.
against them. But how many out of those reported crimes? How many do you think?
I'd say around 30%.
Less than one.
Rotted.
How
less
many
than
do you
one.
think?
Less than 10%.
5%.
Yeah, I told you, less than 10.
5% of rape cases.
Rape as well.
Rape cases are convicted. That's
Convicted.
Convicted, as in
Not
the rapist
reported.
is in jail. So out of all of the reported cases of rape, only 5% goes to court and they end up convicted. because of the fact that a lot of victims feel like they can't come through. I'm not even going to say victims, survivors feel like they can't come forward because of the way that the police system is set up, because of the way evidence collection is done, because of the way that the onus is always on the victim or the survivor to present evidence of a crime being committed.
There's also layers to this, because there's also like cases where people are in relationships and they're being sexually assaulted. So there's people who are waking up to their partners penetrating them, and when they know that it was a no, and they think it's
consensual,
okay, they
yeah.
feel like they're entitled because they're married or they're in a relationship or because they live together. There's a difference between waking up your partner to arouse them, like as in like you're being like all friendly and whatever, but then there's actual I'm having sex with someone who's sleeping.
Yeah.
And
They
then
say it's sex, but the person who's sleeping is being raped.
that's
Let's
literally
call
it.
for
But
what
a
it is.
guy,
Yeah.
immediate reaction, and not all guys, but I know a lot of guys are like, no, what are you talking about? That's my girl.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That doesn't give you 100%
Your wife can
control
still
over
say
her
no.
body.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't mean that like, as much as you're
Yeah.
meant to be
Yeah.
catering to each other.
You know,
So-
more than all of the reported crimes, 40% of them are partner related crimes.
There we go. Which makes it probably even harder to prove because
You're in a relationship with
you
them.
clearly love each other, you care about each other. It's not a random person
Yeah.
attacking you.
Yeah.
I just have a quick one in regards to something I would like to highlight as far as culture. So obviously, growing up British, we cover the fact that we come from different cultures, different religions, etc. Obviously, there's no religion that encourages any behavior like that. But I have noticed, particularly with, correct me if I'm wrong, Fizz, the Asian community, where when a woman has gone or been touched inappropriately, you can't really speak up because you're shaming the family.
Yes.
Where it's deemed like you're gonna bring our name to shame by
Yeah.
creating this noise.
Because again, the focus is on blaming the victim. They will find ways to excuse the behavior of the perpetrator by going, he's got mental health issues. Oh no, he doesn't know what he's doing. Are you sure that's what he did? Or why were you out by yourself? Even if you weren't out by yourself, why did you put yourself in that situation where that could have happened?
That is very true.
Yeah.
Have you noticed this though, Ben, that a lot of women are automatically questioned before, like as in like what were you like? Were you drunk? Were you not? What were you wearing? Do you feel like you can you envision?
That is depending on the situation and the timing. That's always
That tends to.
yeah.
But there's a massive problem with asking this because we're not denying that rape against men happen. It happens.
Of course.
But a man is never questioned. What were you wearing? Who were you out with? What time were you out? What were you doing? Were you drunk? When this happened? Like, so male rape victims, are not questioned in the same way that female rape victims are, or sexual assault victims are. It's always a case of, because you're a woman, you must have been doing something wrong. Whereas if it was a man being attacked, being assaulted, being raped, then it's like, oh no, the person who did that is an absolute sicko. But why is that not the same energy you're bringing for men who rape women? He is also an absolute
I think it's just
sicko.
back to society desensitizing. I'm mindful of the time, but I just want to quickly remind you guys. Do you remember when I think it's around the summertime, there was an event, a street party that took place, and some guy a woman's breast started showing or was a bit out there, and he literally, I think he sucks her breast.
Yeah.
No, wait.
Like
this
proper.
this was the football.
And held on to
This
it.
was the
Yeah,
football.
the woman's. Well, I can't remember what they were
She
jumping.
was celebrating England win, I think. Oh, I don't know. It was.
I don't even know if she flashed.
No,
Did she
she
flash?
did. She flashed. Still
That's
not
fine.
a reason to go trying to bite her nipple off.
He literally, and he like attempted twice or something like that. And what really upset me is the comment section.
Yeah.
The men were praising, some men were praising him, rating him, going, go on, my guy, hungry for some milk or whatever. Like, there was no one else. Okay, there was quite a few guys who did stand up for it, but the majority of people were just bantering at it. And I can imagine someone in her situation not knowing how to react besides, just got to take it.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like, it's such a weird, imagine like you've had the whole bum situation and how that made you feel. Now imagine someone full on.
Yeah.
Try to take a bite.
Yeah, I was just thinking as well, like, what people could say about that. And I was just thinking, loads of people, keyboard warriors, would say, well, what she is doing is also
Asking for it.
not asking for it, but she's breaking the law.
But then let her deal with that. Let her
that's the
be
different.
Yeah.
arrested for that because
Yeah.
she's inappropriately exposed herself to people. We don't know if there's kids there. We don't know the setup and that. 100%. But two wrongs don't make it right.
Yeah.
And it's an extreme wrong. Like it's not even a case that he brushed up against her.
Yeah.
My guy went in for the milk.
Yeah. And like he didn't like just lick
It was
or
a
something,
bite.
or
He tried to
proper.
chunk it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, did you lose your mind? Or was that, again, it starts off something small
Yeah, it does. It starts with something small,
in
but then
public amongst
also-
people.
Yeah, the other thing that really bothers me about this whole situation is something that you mentioned, where the woman who was attempting to help you very loosely was trying to check whether you were drunk, trying to check whether you were under the influence
Yeah.
of something, and then people generally ask women, well, where were you? Were you drinking? Were you under the influence? But when a perpetrator says, I didn't mean to, I was drunk, why is that brushed off?
I don't know if that's brushed off or
It
not.
is though, because I feel
we
like
all know drunken behaviour is still there's truth. Like the true you comes out to an extent.
Yeah,
Like, do you know
we
what I
know
mean?
this,
Like,
but
you get a
what-
bit lax.
But the reason why rape convictions are so low is when this goes to a court and they're like, I was drunk. I was so drunk. I was 4 times over the drink driving limit. I didn't have control of my senses. But you are using the same narrative to blame people who have been assaulted. Like it really screws with my head when you've got one person saying, well, she was drunk, she deserved it. Or he was drunk, he deserved it. But at the same time, you're saying, oh, he didn't know any better. He didn't mean to attack you. He didn't mean to do this to you because he was drunk.
Yeah.
And that it really bothers me that this is the narrative and, this is
100%.
how people view things. So it's,
So I want to know, obviously, just not final thoughts, but Nicole, what would you say is what would you advise people, like women and men, I guess, if you were to, obviously, the camera's on you. What would you like to say, like as far as whether it's advice or just what you've learned from it?
Just I don't know. Do what makes you comfortable, and what you think is right at the time. If you go through something and you don't feel safe to do so, in that moment in time, don't do it. Don't put yourself in a situation you don't want to be in. But tell somebody. There's always somebody that understands. There's always somebody that's gone through it. There's a lot of people who want to help, and there's a lot of help out there.
What do you think needs to change?
What needs to change? Conversations need to change. People need to stop tiptoeing around the conversation and just ask. I think a lot of men would be surprised if what the answer would be if they were to ask sister, friend, mum, anybody. Literally, the simple question: have you ever been sexually assaulted? And they'll be surprised. And I think that would open their minds and their eyes to what's happening.
Well said. Ben, is there anything that you'd like to share or say?
No, it's just
A message to the guys. Man to man, Uncle Ben. Words of wisdom.
the behaviours that you think that are appropriate. I think you should really think about them, because would you want not even just your mum and your sister, but your daughters? Would you want them to experience some of the things that you've been doing to other women? It's just not. And I'm thinking about it not for myself, just things that I've seen, and maybe I would have probably been one of those people. I could have been those people that wouldn't know what to have done, what to do if I would have seen that. I think there's a thing of a bit of embarrassment, just be like, oh, I don't want to get involved in case I'm wrong. But I think if you're seeing something like that, what I'll take away is just to try and speak up if I see something that doesn't look right. If someone is in distress and needs help, then try and help them, because we're all one city, we're all one human race. We have to try and help one another. So help your fellow person.
I'm going to pick up on something you said about people being afraid to speak up in case they're wrong. And this is something I put out in my stories, and this is something that I'm going to keep encouraging people to do. there's nothing wrong with you calling into the police, calling into some service to let people know that there's something, you think there's something happening. It's better to be safe than sorry. I'd rather 5, 6, 10, however many people call the police in that same moment and say, there's something going on, you need to come check this out. And it turns out to be something so minor and it's not even a big deal, like it's nothing, than for it to be the opposite way, which is 10 people around you, but not a single person picked up their phone to call the police. So my words of advice is going to be, you don't have to be actively involved to be able to help out. I've done it before. I've seen a guy punching his girlfriend hard in the belly on a night out, punching her up against the wall. I'm not about to go and step in because this guy can easily turn on me, but I called the police from where I was standing, described them, gave the exact location and moved on. And I could hear the police coming, but I'm glad I did that because I could have hopefully helped the situation better
And you
than
don't
me.
know how many times it's happened
And how many
already.
times it's happened, rather than me trying to step into the situation and get myself boxed out too.
Yeah, I need to stop doing that.
So if, sometimes it's better to not like actually step in, but you're still being active from a distance and you're still calling up. And honestly, I'd rather have 5 people call to say, I think someone's hurt, I think something's happened over there, and it turned out to be nothing, than for it to turn into something way more serious because no one called it in.
I agree. I personally, I think men need to be mindful. Some of the men, obviously, I know women get away with sexual assault and they think it's playful and it's unacceptable. The same way a man can't touch a woman, the same way a woman can't just inappropriately pinch a guy's bum in public and think it's just banter, because when it's flipped the other way around, it's a problem. So we have to kind of change a narrative. But I know a lot of guys who might say, oh, but in this guy's case, he's touched your bum. He might now be charged and be deemed a criminal and his life's changed. Some might say, oh, that's a bit too aggressive, or that's a bit excessive for what he's done. In that case, be mindful that every action there's a consequence. So where you might downplay it, this is a humbling moment to anyone who thinks it's okay to touch women inappropriately, or they think it's just a bit friendly, a bit banter. It's not banter. It's not okay. So hold yourself accountable. Men, you're getting old enough now and you're exposed enough to be each other's mentors and to hold yourselves accountable within your own circle. And I think we need to change the culture, change the narrative, change the dialogue. This whole like shaming women, making them feel uncomfortable, making them feel dramatic. I get it. There are fake cases. There are women who just want clout and noise.
But we're not talking about those cases. We're talking about the majority.
100%. And
have
Nicole
gone through it.
demonstrated an amazing example where someone could have just squashed it and be like, do you know what, it's not that deep, keep it stepping. And you stood your ground. And he got humbled. I don't think he'll touch another woman again. If he does, then wait.
But it's on his record, so next time offence, you're doing longer in jail, sir.
I don't have the information here, but obviously if someone's experienced something, because when you're assaulted, it can lead to like mental health issues. It can unpack a lot of things. I know there's suicides that have happened. There's depression that's taken place as a result. There's levels to this: eating disorders, self-harming. Obviously, if you're experiencing it yourself, there is ways and places to reach out and get help. So even if you don't want to report it and you can't tell your family, there's also somewhere for you to receive that help. Do you know any obvious charities?
We'll link them. We'll add them. No, I can't think.
What
off the top of
happened
my
to your
head.
research, girl?
No, I did the research and my mind's blanking, but I got a lot of information from specific charities that are focused around violence against women and supporting victims of sexual assault. I'm sorry, guys, it's been a long day, but I'll make sure to send that info over.
But yeah, no, it's important to know,
add it on.
regardless whether we're going to supply them, it's just simply going onto Google as well and just searching that information. There's so many charities available. There's so many helplines out there. There's so many buddies or whatever that will be willing to listen to you and talk to you. Because I know some families you can't talk to, and some people will never have the courage to step to the police. But if we start having these conversations and empowering ourselves to feel confident enough to address it, I think then we're heading in the right direction.
And you shouldn't be going through these things alone. But also, I mean, if we're all saying we've been through it, then just know like you can talk to your peers and they will understand.
But
And a problem, you know, as cliche as it is, a problem shared is a problem halved, and just talking to someone can help lighten the load for you. So
100%. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us.
No,
Yeah,
thank you for
thank
having
Thank you
me.
for sharing the story, man.
yeah,
No, we
you.
appreciate it, and I know there's a lot of women and
Yeah.
men who have learned a lot from today. So we appreciate and thank you in advance for the changes.
and for your bravery, because it led to you here now.
Trust me.
For me to
Thank
slide
you.
in her DMs.
Yeah.
Guys, have been watching Grown Up British. Please make sure you subscribe. I'm a Hebs on YouTube, or on Spotify, Apple, and all the other jazzy bits. I am Hebs on Instagram.
Wait, the order changed.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
kidding.
Sorry, should we get back to
It's
the rate?
okay. It's all right.
All right,
I'll do
go
it this
for it.
way. I'm Fizz. You can find me on Keep It Fizz.
It's your uncle, favorite uncle, and yeah.
And thank you, Nicole, again for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, guys, take it easy.
Bye.